your heart, you might have dislike for a certain child, but you force yourself to say, "Good morning, Manuel, how are you doing?" Somebody forgot to take his Ritalin this morning. My name is Rose Huffman. I teach 3rd grade. At 9:15, we start with arithmetic. I have tables fun on the board, multiplications. You don't say tables, you say tables fun. Everything has to be fun, fun, fun. I tell my kids, Mrs. Huffman's here, everybody works. Working is a blessing. In the old days, I had 18 to 20 children who stayed in my class from the beginning bell to the very end. Today, I have 37. The children come in, play with their cell phones, and leave for computer lab, art therapy. Oh yes, I have seen great changes since I started teaching in 1967. My classroom was always the showcase. In those days we did it ourselves, with colorful pictures and charts on the wall, a snowman in winter, a pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies were in neat little piles on the shelves. My children were always respectful. When the principal came, they would rise. And if I had to leave for a minute or two, they always found something constructive to do. And everyone sat in their places according to size. But kids don't know how to behave anymore. Ask them to rise and they ask you what for. We confiscate weapons and drugs at the door. No spitballs and comic books now. They want me to teach in a classroom like that, but nobody tells me how. Back then, we actually taught English. Not English as a second language. I am shocked that English is a second language. When my parents came over, we didn't learn Chinese as the first language at the taxpayer's expense. We didn't have any problem with focus, with discipline. But of course, in those days, we always had the paddle. Oh yes, I am a big believer in corporal punishment. It builds respect and trust. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I got through. They copy the words till they know them by heart. 10 times for the dumb ones and twice for the smart. And gold stars were given to those who made sentences too. But why bother teaching them spelling today? Nobody knows how to read anyway. How can you spell what you can't even say? It's se habla español now. The way I've been teaching for 40-some years is no longer effective, or so it appears. Well, damn it, it worked for me then, so what's wrong with it now? They say I'm supposed to keep up with the times, but nobody ever tells me how. There was one little girl who stands out in my mind in all my years of teaching. My favorite, Pam. She was special. She wasn't very bright, but she was never any trouble. I see her every once in a while. She's the checker at the Treasure Island supermarket. She gives no trouble today either. She has the same smile for everyone.
Senorita, you got a break when you got this job.
You do? What's your name?
Maria. Marie.
I'm Pam, but everyone calls me Babe.
Can you hurry up and bag that, please? I have somewhere to be in 10 minutes.
You wait your turn, you'll get my full undivided attention. You rush, and you're gonna get nothing.
You walk through the doors and everything is pretty. Everything looks fresh and nice. You're not aware that in the back room, it stinks. And there's cranes all over and people yelling at each other. They play music over these loudspeakers so you'll relax while you shop. They play Guantanamera. It's the Cuban Revolutionary song. People don't pay any attention to the music anyway. They go shopping and hit their kids and blame us for the high price.
Whoa! Whoa! Put the lettuce on top. They should really teach you people about produce.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
No, I'm sorry. It's just lettuce costs so much these days.
I used to pick lettuce. According to my mom, I was born in a cotton sack out in the fields because she didn't have enough money to go to the hospital. We used to migrate from Arizona to California and back and forth. The things I saw, they shaped my life. I started picking crops when I was 8. I couldn't do much, but every little bit counts. Every time I would get behind on my chores, I would get a carrot thrown at me by my parents. But I would daydream. I would picture my mom living in the same place all the time, but being admired by all the people in the community. All of a sudden, I'd be rudely awakened by a broken carrot on my back. When my father died, my mom would go into her tent, and we'd go into one for the kids. We'd roughhouse and everything, and then I'd go into mom's tent, and I'd see her crying. When I asked her why she was crying, she would never give me an answer. All she said was, things would be better. But that day she thought would be better, it never came for her. They got on their table. If I had enough money, I would take busloads of people into the fields and into the labor camps. Then they would see how that fine salad got on their table.